I'm General Glenn Walters, United States Marine Corps retired, and I serve as the president of the Citadel. I'd like to take a moment and discuss your choice of colleges. Most of you have many options. The Citadel is not for everybody, and very different opportunity for most of the schools you're likely to be considering. It isn't easy, but the rewards are great, from the superior education and leadership training to the lifelong relationships you'll build. The Citadel is a unique experience. We rank as one of the top colleges in the nation, and it's proven our graduates are more successful than just about any other school's alumni. So if you're ready to commit yourself to a great journey with immense rewards for those who complete it, I look forward to your joining our ranks. Good luck and see you soon. Our mighty Citadel. These words have a special meaning because they make us think about what's special about our college. And they make us think about the task at hand and what we can do to preserve what is special about this college, while also taking the steps necessary to make sure that this college and what it stands for will stand forever. We are a mighty Citadel, with a sacred mission to educate and develop principled leaders for all walks of life. The values-based education we offer here is more important now than it ever has been. To stand forever, we must preserve the traditions that make the Citadel such a special place. The traditions of service, challenge, resilience, and camaraderie.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Citadel's Tennessee Candidate Webinar. My name is Seamus Gill, and I'm a member of the Citadel's class of 1996, and I serve as Associate Director of Admissions. I would like to introduce my counterpart, Josh Simon, class of 2008, who will be assisting on the technical side tonight. Tennessee has a long and storied connection to the Citadel. Since our founding in 1842, the mission of the Citadel has been to forge and deliver principled leaders into the world. Whether as commissioned officers in our 4 service branches, or as leaders in business or education, Tennessee cadets have and continue to play a vital role in this calling. Tonight we have a variety of guests who will share their individual experiences regarding the tremendous impact the Citadel's leadership and academic development models have had upon their own personal and professional growth. Topics of discussion will include a brass tacks institutional review of our results and outcomes. How does the Citadel rank? What are our graduation rates, employment rates, average salary? We will also explore the transformative nature of the Citadel's first year. We affectionately call it the knob year here at the Citadel. And then we'll study the 3 years of leadership development that follow. We're going to talk about the Citadel cadet experience as a whole, and we're going to talk about the amazing city that is Charleston, South Carolina. We're going to talk about our physical activity here, how that is a key piece of life here at the Citadel, to include Division I athletics, club sports, social clubs, as well as other organizational opportunities that are available to the cadets. Then we're going to also talk and explore the idea of servant leadership. This is a really important cornerstone idea to growth here at the Citadel, and that is service to others. That is really, really important to us. And lastly, we're going to talk about what our alumni network is involved in, how they support our cadets, how they support graduates and the college itself. Tennessee alone has 4 different Citadel alumni Citadel clubs. In fact, one of them is well represented tonight. So it's a Middle Tennessee club that we're going to talk a little bit about later tonight. The event will conclude with a question and answer segment that all of our guest panelists will participate in. That's going to conclude at 6:30 p.m. Excuse me, that's going to conclude at 7:30 p.m. tonight. And I would encourage all the viewers tonight to submit those questions. There's a comments tab on the right side of your screens. make sure you enter your questions so that we can answer those at that time. At the end of the evening, as promised, we're going to be putting up a QR code for our viewers to scan. This will take you to a quick form that will ensure accurate delivery of your Citadel pennant. We've custom designed Citadel pennants for these events, and this will be a quick opportunity for you to get yours in the mail. Now, without further ado, let's meet our guests. We're going to start with Cadet Private Vincent Mazzaro. He's a Papa Company fourth classman. He's Citadel class of 2024. He hails from Brentwood, Tennessee. He is a physics major and participates in the Society of Physics Students, and he aspires to commission as an officer in the Marine Corps upon graduation. You can see that red badge on his chest. That indicates he's an ROTC scholarship recipient. That's outstanding. Welcome to the program, Cadet Mazzaro.
What's up, Tennessee?
There it is, Tennessee represented. Second panelist of the evening is Cadet First Lieutenant Marshall McKee. He's a class of 2021. Mr. McKee is a senior from Columbia, Tennessee. He's pursuing a degree in mechanical engineering, and he serves as the executive officer of Charlie Company in addition to serving as an honor representative. Cadet McKee has a 4-year Air Force ROTC scholarship and is pursuing a pilot slot after graduation. While at the Citadel, he participates in the Citadel Flying Club and is a member of the Tau, Beta, Pi, and Omicron Delta Kappa organizations. Off campus, he enjoys water rafting, and in fact, he's worked as a guide on the pronounce that for me. What's that river?
The Ocoee River.
The Ocoee River. Boom, there it is. Welcome to the program, Cadet McKee.
Good evening. It's good to be here.
And our third guest of the evening is David Delk, Citadel class of 1998. Originally from Bamberg, South Carolina, David spent most of his life in Chapel Hill, Tennessee. And that's, I believe, where you are now. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Greetings from Chapel Hill.
And you serve as the Senior Vice President for First Commerce Bank there in Chapel Hill. But one of the special things that is very representative of the Citadel alumnus in you is you're volunteering with a wonderful organization known as A Soldier's Child Foundation, which provides an outlet for the children of Gold Star families, particularly there in Middle Tennessee, offering opportunities for these young people to go hunting and fishing, and allow them to meet fine people like yourself. I think that's an outstanding organization you're a part of. You're a Mike Company graduate, and you were a member of the rugby club back in the day. Thanks for being with us, David.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Tonight, we're going to have the fun opportunity to review a variety of different cadet profile videos. And these are great videos that kind of showcase the typical cadets that are part of the Corps of Cadets, their aspirations, what brought them here, what they participate in. I think this is going to be informative to our candidates who are considering the Citadel from Tennessee. This is a special place. It's not for everybody, but it's a very special place. And as a student in high school considering colleges and having to evaluate the pluses and minuses of all these environments, I think the first place that every candidate starts with is the return on investment idea. When you invest in the Citadel, what do you get? So I'm going to dive into some of these numbers right now because I think it's really important for you to know right off the bat that we are extraordinary in regards to our return on investment. As an out-of-stater, it's not inexpensive to come to a school like the Citadel, but where it really matters is our outcomes. So without further ado, I'm going to dive into some of these numbers. U.S. News and World Reports has ranked the Citadel the #1 public university in the South for the last 10 years in a row, 10 straight years. And this, some of the key hallmarks of this designation are graduation rates, employment rates, and alumni giving. These are really, really indicative of the successful points that make up the Citadel environment here, the community here. Our 4-year graduation rate is extraordinarily high. It is exceptional when you compare us to all the other schools in our categories, but nationally, we are in that top tier of performers with respect to 4-year graduation rates. An important note for our athletes out there is that our athletes graduate at the same rate as non-athletes. That's extraordinary in Division I sports. We have a top 20 engineering program for all the engineering aspirants. This is an extraordinary place to be an engineer. It is a place that for 5 years, there was a stretch there with every single engineering senior cadet who walked the stage had a professional engineering job waiting for them on the other side. That's extraordinary. Within 3 months of graduation, better than 90% of our graduates are professionally employed. That is just extraordinary. Again, that demonstrates a long-term commitment to success And we're going to dive into some of the undergirding elements that bring this success so continuously. 81% of our folks receive financial aid, including $14 million in ROTC scholarship monies alone. That's a really important marker there. For all the candidates who are out there looking at the Citadel, if you're thinking about the service opportunities out there, I would highly encourage ROTC scholarship application. The departments here at the Citadel can give some guidance on these, but these are federal ROTC scholarships. So Google's your friend in terms of locating how to apply. But again, we have folks in our ROTC detachments that can give fine-tooth details, strategic guidance to maximize that outcome. Here's the big number. Average salary at graduate is just under $57,000 a year. That's pretty extraordinary. That's the first year starting job. That's the average coming off the line here at the Citadel. And that, again, is an important marker for folks who are out of state, who are looking at the Citadel, to understand that if you're taking on debt to service this time at the Citadel, those 4 years, that the average marker is just under $57,000 is where you start. A big attraction for students considering the Citadel is also the student-faculty ratio here. We're 12-1, and we've maintained a 12-1 student-faculty ratio for many decades now. That commitment brings with it a whole host of different environmental considerations. The largest of the classes that you will experience here at the Citadel will be in the 30 range. I was an English major here at the Citadel. My junior and senior year, I had classes that we would sit around round tables. And literally, I had classes that were less than 10 students. 96% of our faculty traditionally have their terminal degrees. So you're being taught by professionals at the highest end of their professional spectrum, who are highly credentialed, and most importantly, are passionate about the relationship side of being a teacher at the Citadel. Our cadets will probably attest to this during the course of tonight's discussions, but the mentorship and the investment that of relationship with faculty is a keen part of success here. They're going to help give guidance and an idea to opportunity, to course selection with respect to goals, professional goals, and those things change while you're a cadet here. There's lots of inspirational people you're going to be exposed to during your time here at the Citadel, and all these outcomes are again shaped on the academic front because academics unlock that first door for opportunity. Cadet McKee wants to be a pilot. He's already got his ROTC scholarship, but the first marker on that is going to be grades, and he'll talk about that in a bit here. But I think that's important to note. But there's also something that really is a keen part of the success, and that is the career services at the Citadel is not for seniors. It is for freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors. It is a 4-year enterprise here, and we're lucky enough to have a good friend of mine's. I witnessed their wedding. Julian Tisdale is class of 95. His wife is Paige Tisdale, and she's an absolute exceptional professional. She is a juggernaut in the career services business, and that she is continually engaged in finding opportunities for our cadets each and every day. Her staff are committed to this. They engage freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors in the playouts that happen during the summer internships, professional development opportunities. We have a huge study abroad program. All these things are building value and equity in our academic cadets and the experiential side of their exposure to those business environments. So without further ado, let's meet Paige Tisdale.
There's never a day where I'm not excited about educating students on opportunities. I'm Paige Tisdale. I'm director of the Citadel Career Center. So I think because I really enjoy what I do, I hope to empower students to be able to find that, because a lot of people don't find it right out. It's not something that you just often fall into, right? Sometimes your path is a little windy. And I'm lucky that I have found it, and so I want to empower students to do the same thing, to find something they're passionate about. I think young people have a lot of options. Obviously, coming to the Citadel is a very tough choice, and life at the Citadel is not easy. And so if you're choosing to come here, I think you're already buying in from day one that, I'm going to work really, really hard for the end goal. Not just the ring and not just to graduate, but partnering with us, that professional end goal. And so it's a very personal thing to me. Sometimes I get a little bit of pushback of, hey, you can't reach everybody. And I guess my response to that is, why not? To me, that's the reason that a career center exists. And so I grew up understanding and really loving the Citadel and knowing what it was all about, and really our mission to educate principal leaders I believe in that, and I believe what we're doing here. And what I would say is that the employers, they buy into. So I'm really, really passionate about getting students connected early, planting the seed, looping back around sophomore year, junior year, so they're exploring, preparing, and engaging all along. So I'm passionate about it because if students start early, it really helps them get connected to career outcomes the day they walk across the stage.
So we've explored a little bit of the empirical elements that bring success. The academic environment here, the leadership discussion is the next keen part. This is really an extraordinary place in terms of what you learn as a leader. The idea that we build principled leaders was remarked upon by General Walters. He talked about this at the top of our program here. But this principled leadership development model here is extraordinary. And it begins with the first year here at the Citadel, the grueling knob year. It's a challenging crucible that demands teamwork. It demands selflessness. It demands commitment and resiliency. And this next video that we're going to watch underscores one of the freshmen that has experienced this and how this is manifested in this short duration of a one-year period, this knob year. Without further ado, Aaron.
I expected the Citadel to be difficult, structured. I expected to have a routine. The only thing that was different for me that I didn't expect was the intensity. I'm Aaron Daniger, and I'm a 4th class cadet. All year, everybody talked about Recognition Day, the gauntlet. I was excited. I was finally here.
Give this everything you got. Do you understand? Sir, yes, sir. Don't leave anything left out on that field. Do you understand? Sir, yes, sir. Go until you can't go anymore. Do you understand? Sir, yes, sir. Let's go.
And when we went outside, we ran to the first station with the ropes and the burpees, and that was it. I was just into it. Everything else didn't matter. I knew it was going to be hard, and I was correct. I was in pain. I was hurting. I was sweating pretty bad. I was at that point where I was almost relieved. I wasn't there yet, but I knew it was coming. I kind of felt that feeling like I'm almost there. I'm almost there. A couple more stations. We do the victory lap. I go in. I do my push-ups, and I'm right there. I'm so close. When we get in the barracks and we get down to do our push-ups, and I've got my classmates on my left and my right, all I could remember was just trying to keep count, trying to just keep pushing. And then we start bracing, and I heard the bagpipes, and I'm not gonna lie, I was tearing up a little bit. I'd made it. That was it. And 4th class system's no longer in effect, and the chin came right out. The next day, we marched down to Marion Square, and we renewed our oath, and it was an unbelievable experience.
As long as I remain a member of the Corps of Cadets.
The biggest lesson I've learned this year would definitely be keeping unity, even through the hard times. We all ran through trials and tribulations. That was the point of the process, was to test you and to, train you and make you stronger.
Knob year is a galvanizing year. There's no way to get around it. It's the proverbial forge where lifelong friendships are made. Cadet Mazzaro, you're a knob, and you're approaching that halfway marker. Congratulations on your success in getting this far. It's certainly a challenge. You've had COVID to deal with. You've had being a knob, which is never an easy task, and certainly under these conditions, it's been extraordinarily challenging. Talk to us about how does that video resonate with you when you see this video?
Thank you, sir. This year has definitely been challenging. It's been very different from previous years because of wearing the masks. But the one thing that resonates with me is how close the 4th class system pushes you with your classmates. My roommate, everybody in my company, they're constantly in and out of our rooms. We're best friends. We're going to remember each other. Even our company salute is till the day I die. And that resonates with all of us. We will remember each other. We'll remember this till the day we die.
Obviously, you're applying some of the traditions and understanding in the Marine Corps environment here at the Citadel. You have a red badge on your chest, which means you're a scholarship recipient. Congratulations on that. How is this? How is this playing out in terms of what you're learning and how you're forging these friendships? How does that play out in the Marine detachment?
So the cool thing with the Marine detachment is the fourth class system. When you're in any class, lab especially, it goes away, and they encourage you learn from the upperclassmen. And I have my squad in a Marine lab is I'm very close with them as well. They're just like brothers and sisters to me. This school is one of the only units that has active duty Marines learning with you. They teach the lab, and we're learning from active duty Marines how to be a Marine, how to get through OCS from people that did it before. And it's really different from a lot of other schools. You're learning a lot more here. And I've heard from upperclassmen who've been through OCS that compared to after going through the Citadel, it's easy. And they were well prepared.
For our viewers to understand, we have a program and a partnership. It's called the Marine Enlisted Commissioning Education Program, the MECEP program. And this is where the Marine Corps selects extraordinary leaders who are smart, capable, young NCOs who've done a great deal of good work in the Marine Corps in their short careers. And they're selected to come to the Citadel to get their undergraduate degree. They're in the classrooms with our cadets. But again, they have great instinct. They have great wisdom that they impart with the cadet detachment on a daily basis. So when the training manifests in the Marine unit, you're going to have these seasoned veterans conducting a lot of the training and being active participants and sharing this wisdom and this knowledge. And this is, again, meaningful to our junior cadets who prepare for Officer Candidate School, which is the crucible for officers in preparation for their commissioning opportunities. So we're smart in that we have this great partnership where we leverage these outstanding Marine NCOs to help better our outcomes as well. And the partnership is a long-standing one. So that's what's been referred to there. Cadet McKee, you serve as Charlie Company's executive officer, which is the number 2 officer in the company. You've had to implement all kinds of COVID-related policies to ensure safety throughout this semester. So one of the things that I think about when I see this NOB video is that the NOB video and the NOB year that's existing right now is leaning heavily upon senior leadership to execute a safe training regimen. So kudos to you on that. Can you talk to us about what the senior leadership team has had to do on a continual basis to get the class this far?
Yes, sir. It's been a lot different this year. So they split it up by battalion. So I'm actually living in the upper class battalion. So I have very little interaction with the knobs, but then our cadre PL is Mr. Roman Kukowski. He's been in charge of training the Charlie Company knobs. And so we've had to work better as seniors about communicating across battalions, still upholding the COVID guidelines of not being allowed to go into other battalions to keep each other safe. And then just making sure everybody wears a mask, and you're supposed to be limited about how much contact you have with people who you don't see every day for class.
It's been a unique evolution in that there's been some smart policies enacted to try to group cadets in certain elements. All the knobs are in exclusive barracks right now, which makes sense to isolate. And again, it's all part of the safety. But again, a tip of the hat to you and your leadership class in getting the Corps this far. Many colleges have not been as successful. So again, carry on the good work. I'm going to move to you, David. Does this take you back to NOB year a little bit? Does this review bring back some memories?
It absolutely does. Hearing the comments from Vincent Marshall, and also the video, quite inspiring. Very, very nice video. Definitely brings back some memories. And believe it or not, I miss those days. I really do. You can't wait to get out of there, and then. I have a own group text with some guys for, some that were in my company. Most were 98 guys. Some were a little bit older, a little bit younger. We texting those guys today, like Vincent said, and he, even though he's just been there a short time, but a there's a lot of truth to the words he's saying. I mean, these are guys that he'll remember forever and stay in touch with forever. And I look forward to him having the same relationships that you and I have now.
Indeed. It's a special place. And I think one of the things we'll talk a little bit later about being a Citadel grad and wearing the ring that we wear, which is a special piece of this, is that it's a reminder each and every day of the commitment you have to excellence and serving the people around you. That is something that doesn't change. Doesn't matter whether you're a commissioned officer or whether you're a teacher in a third world country. The same excellence and the same standards apply. So that's really a great connective piece, is that the brotherhood and sisterhoods that are forged in the first year grow exponentially. You're going to be joining clubs, you're going to do all kinds of things, and then you join this community of alumni. And it's a special thing to meet other graduates and shake hands, because obviously post-COVID, but that's the standard offering there, is that when you shake another alumnus hand, you have an immediate friend, because there's a level of trust and expectation in that. The next video, we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to follow a cadet by the name of Kate Manzioni, who's an athlete here at the Citadel. She plays on the soccer team. But physicality is a big part of this environment here at the Citadel. Whether you're a Division I athlete, or you're playing club sports, or you're participating in intramurals, or even company PT. And certainly that exists in the ROTC detachments as well for our folks with ROTC scholarships. They are PTing in addition. Physicality is a part of this environment here, and for us, it serves multiple roles. It helps alleviate the stress of the academic load that our cadets are taking. It builds camaraderie, and it also sharpens the mind. But this video that we have is going to enunciate the team aspect of mentorship and growth through service to your fellow teammates. And so this is a great video. So let's meet Kate.
I first started playing soccer when I was 4. I was like, this is the sport for me. I love the competition and the aggression that I can just take out on the field. I'm Kate Manzione, and I play center back for the Citadel soccer team. So our team is known for having heart and being gritty and getting after it and being physical. And that's something that our opponents really take into account, and they are never stepping up to the field thinking that this is going to be an easy game. It's always physical. It's always a battle, and that's what I love about my team. Being the last line of defense is really important, because it's just you and the goalie at the end of the day. She relies on me, I rely on her, and that's a bond that is really special on the field. I can come into this locker room and know that there are 30 girls in this locker room that would do anything for me, and I would do anything for them. Being a leader on the field and being a leader in the Corps is really similar, because you're not only a team on the field, literally, but you're also a team in the Corps. I mean, your company, your squad, your platoon, you're all a team. The whole Corps is a team. And the leadership that I saw in the Corps really helped me to be a leader on the field. I've seen myself change in so many ways. The person that I was 3 years ago wouldn't recognize the person that I was today, and I'm extremely proud of that. I really grew as a person as well as a player. What keeps me motivated as a leader is knowing that I'm training my replacement, and I want that replacement to be better than I was before. I have potential to be something greater than I am, and that's what I'm really reaching for.
My knob, your company commander, was John Harrison. He happened to be the starting pitcher of the Citadel's World Series baseball team, and he was in charge of 130 plus cadets. And he was always a Dean's List or Gold Star student. For those students, for those candidates out there, that's a 3.2 for Dean's List or a 3.8 for our Gold Star designation. The balancing of all of that was extraordinary. So the impact that had on me as a freshman was it made me idolize that side of his ability to do all of these things simultaneously successfully. That is what's really unique about this place, is that there's a lot of inspiration from these types of people. Obviously, Kate's a leader on the field. Had an opportunity to talk to one of the NOB participants in that class, or on her soccer team. And it was the same kind of admiration that I had for John Harrison that she felt for Kate, in that she was really a servant leader, worked hard to demonstrate and lead by example. You guys might have seen some of this in your own existence. What are the key elements that bring success? She was talking about that the cross-pollination of what happens athletically also happens in the core. What have you guys seen in this regard? And maybe I'll start with Mr. McKee to see what you're seeing in terms of you fulfilling this role as an executive officer, and maybe your progression through the ranks in the previous years. How have you seen this model live out in your own cadet career?
Yes, sir. So as a freshman, it was really about just kind of being broken down and getting to become like one class, kind of how Cadet Mazzara was talking about, and kind of leaving behind kind of what you knew in high school and learning the core values of the Citadel. And then sophomore year is really whenever things start to build upon that, and you're learning how to lead each other more. And by the time you're the junior, you're the workhorse of the core. You're carrying out what the seniors are putting in place. You're the one that's leading the formations, leading PT. And by the time you're a senior, you're the one who's making the plans, who's going to your juniors to carry them out. And so it's been cool to see it build upon that each year. I really enjoyed, by the time I was a junior, being that platoon sergeant that was leading UT. And it was really challenging leading your classmates and your peers. And then especially as a senior, it's been one of the biggest challenges. But then being a senior and getting the lead, and you have all these people that are counting on you, it's been really cool development, starting as a knob and just watching it all at that point. So.
Cadet Mazzara, I think you've probably seen a little bit of this, and you mentioned a little bit of this already of that service side. You participate probably in intramurals. What have been your favorite intramurals when you're not in Marine training? What have been your favorite so far?
So today we actually, before this started, I came back from a football game. On the fields, it's a great time. We get to see upperclassmen out there. It's a time where we can bond with each other, practice a little bit of leadership. We'll huddle together, make a plan, and go out and execute that plan. And being on the field, playing intramurals, and being here in the barracks, they all correlate.
Agreed. And this is not going to change. This is the one thing I can impart the old guy in the room, is that life doesn't change. What you're learning right now is immediately applicable and will be applicable in your life professionally and personally indefinitely. The stuff that is going on and transpiring in the Corps right now, as it has since 1842, is the stuff that will sustain you in a successful career, professionally and otherwise. So this is the special thing that I think Kate demonstrates: is there is a tenacity, there is a grit, there is a leadership model here that is type A and going after things, but the service side of mentorship and investing in the people around you is really, really important, and oftentimes more important than anything else. The next video we have transitions well into this idea of serving others. Kate served her team by helping build those soccer players behind her. This next cadet that we're going to watch a video on found a moment of distress in the local community here and saw it as an opportunity to serve. And I think this, again, is another testament to the cadet model of selfless service in our leadership development process here. So without further ado, we're going to meet Chad Deckel.
I'm Chad Deckel, and I volunteered at a Red Cross shelter during Hurricane Florence. The cadet leadership of the Citadel, we were closely watching the progress of Hurricane Florence.
The preparations are intense right now at the port of Charleston. And
we saw that as a Category 4 or 5 hurricane. It was potentially on a direct collision course with Charleston. It certainly made us realize that this was a truly serious issue. Well, my first thought was, as a battalion commander, was how can I get my cadets to safety first? The next thought was, how can we help out the greater Charleston community with this incoming hurricane? And I knew that I just couldn't sit by while our community was threatened. So myself and 5 other cadets helped out at a Red Cross shelter, and when we got there, we first noticed that the shelter was overwhelmed with about 200 more people than they expected. We had to help take over management of the entire shelter, counting how much food, how much water they had, making sure that everyone was properly supplied, and helping the managers deal with the large overflow of people. As the shifts wore on, especially as it got into the later hours, we certainly felt that fatigue and that exhaustion, but to look at the people at the shelter, realize kind of the magnitude of the problems that they were facing as their homes were threatened, it was truly humbling. Sometimes you have this expectation as a leader that it's always you that's teaching your followers, the people that are under you. It's you that's the primary influencer. But what this experience taught me, watching how the Knobs sacrificed their time and how willing they were to serve, was that your followers can absolutely inspire you as a leader. The Citadel kind of instills in you this kind of ethos that there's always something greater than you. It's your duty to look out for those around you. That duty is not just limited to cadets at the Citadel. Recently, I received my ring after many years of waiting, and one of the things that first struck me was how heavy it weighed. Not just physically on my hand, but there's just kind of this weight of obligation that you have. And the fact that, as I graduate and move forward into my career as an Army officer, that ring will still be there. And there'll be that expectation that I have to uphold, those same values that those cadets, those mentors had instilled in me during my 4 years here.
Cadet McKee, you are now the recipient of a device that makes your right hand a little heavier. Can you show our audience what that looks like, please?
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the greater community of those who wear the ring. Congratulations on that. That's the marker. That is the marker that reminds you to serve those around you each and every day in an honorable way. That really is the distilled ideology of the ring that we so proudly wear. Is that it's a community of people that care for one another, that care for this college, but more importantly, that are committed to serving those around them and doing so honorably. This is a fundamental hallmark of this institution. It's been driven home by Captain Peluso with an iron fist. I know that you guys have been under his firm watch, which has not been an easy one, but his ethos is definitely lead by example and be firm about what you do. Leadership is an example of the selfless service that the Cadet Corps is committed to on an annual basis. I'm going to start with you, Mr. McKee, in talking about maybe from the past 3 years, what your favorite Leadership Day moment might be, and tell our viewers what that day entails traditionally.
Yes, sir. So probably one of my favorite days was my knob year. We actually got to go to one of the local elementary schools up in Charleston. And even as a knob, it was cool to get off campus and see just how respected the Citadel was here in Charleston, and see these little kids. All they wanted to do was hold your cover, and it was really cool to see them see us as leaders, even though we were just knobs. And so it's cool to, no matter where you're at, after coming from the Citadel, people know you have that as your last name kind of, and it means something. And so you go and work to make sure you give that the right meaning.
I think the beauty of this idea of Leadership Day is that it's not a day anymore when you graduate. It's a leadership year. It evolves. You have a limited amount of time because you're so busy in what you do as a cadet. But when you graduate, more time finds you. And an example of what alumni do is manifested in my good friend David here, who's been involved in this amazing charity work. David, if you would be so kind as to share with our viewers your involvement with this organization, what it entails, and what the mission is of that organization, and how that service impacts those young families who've been devastated by loss.
Absolutely. It's a foundation called a Soldier's Child Foundation. It was actually founded in honor of, or in memory of, rather, a childhood friend, Staff Sergeant Mark Kozinski, who was killed in action March 27, 2007. In the Marine Corps, and I was unaware of the foundation when it started, but actually found it on the internet one day, and turns out it was headquartered in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is just right up the road here. Their motto is love, honor, and hope, and it is and it's designed for children of Gold Star families. Children who've lost a parent on active duty. We want to show the child love. We want to honor their lost parent, and we want to give them hope for the future. That that their parent was not did not die in vain. And it started as sending birthday gifts to these children on their birthday from their lost parent. And Mark Wazinski's son Christian was the very first soldier's child 11 years ago. We're now up to about 4,000 kids.
Wow.
all across the nation. And where I've Daryl Mackin, the founder and executive director, who's a Navy veteran. Daryl and I have grown to be close friends, and I've kind of helped Daryl spearhead the hunting and fishing expedition, which is kind of a branch of kind of the next branch from the birthday celebrations. Just this past over Halloween weekend, we had a juvenile hunt here in Tennessee. We had 40 kids from all over the country, California, Alaska, Nebraska, Michigan, several from the Southeast, a couple from Tennessee, of course. I had 36 hunters, killed 26 deer. Also went fishing, caught a bunch of fish up here, and then also the kids that did while they weren't hunting or fishing were participating in zip line, rock climbing the rock wall, doing team building things of that sort. And the foundation in the last few years has now gone into college scholarships. So, it's a budding foundation where 90%, actually 91%, which is really unheard of. Not 91% of every dollar raised goes directly to programs for these kids. And, it's just, it's an honor to be a part of, and it's something I really enjoy and look forward to participating in.
Well, it warms the heart of myself, and I know that our viewers are taken by this idea. Again, it embodies this idea of serving a community. This is certainly a community. The Gold Star families in the United States have given everything they can to this nation's sovereignty and peaceful state. And so I congratulate you on that endeavor. And I think it's very representative of what we do as graduates to try to honor this place, to honor the Long Gray Line, and to make our community around us better. For our viewers to understand, David also takes on another volunteer role in that he serves as the Citadel Alumni Recruitment Chair. And this is a wonderful group of alumni that simply volunteer to mentor and talk with Tennessee candidates. The Citadel clubs in Tennessee have cadet send-off events. They have winter events. They have all kinds of different events that connect candidates, cadets with upper class cadets, knobs, get to meet upperclassmen. But the communal melding that happens in these environments is wonderful. But on the recruitment side, this is volunteering time to talk with our candidates who are carefully considering the Citadel. That's another volunteer aspect that, again, shines a great light on that gold ring that David wears. So kudos to you. And again, our cadets are also involved in a variety of different things through Leadership Day. Cadet Mazzara, you're going to have your chance in the spring when you get your first dose of Leadership Day. That's an opportunity for you to serve in that capacity. The Marine Corps on campus does do a Toys for Tots traditionally. That's another wonderful outreach program that provides gifts for low-income families. So, and in fact, the Citadel's had one of the highest blood drive ratios of any school in the Southeast. We're a big giver of blood, sweat, and tears, baby. That's what we do. But the reality is that we work hard and we give hard. So again, I think that video, what we watch, underscores really the depth of all these offerings. The next video we have is poignant. It speaks to the undergirding traditions here at the Citadel. Lots of things change on the surface, but the undergirding mission, the principal development process here at the Citadel is really, really special. And the bond and kinship that we feel in as a family whether it be blood family or outside in the Citadel community, is really special to us. This video follows the cadet career of Marcus Milhouse, who was a special young man. He's interesting in many capacities, but I'm going to let the video do the talking.
There's a verse in the Citadel alma mater that goes, "And in the paths our Father showed us, follow without fear." And for me, every time I heard that, every time I saw it on paper, it just stuck out at me, because it was like the author was telling me that your dad went here, your dad had the courage to do what he did. Now it's your turn. It's my turn to embody the same courage that he had when he was here and tackle everything head on. I'm Marcus Milhouse, so I decided to come to the Citadel to honor my dad's legacy. My dad passed away a week before my 7th birthday. I was really young, but we had a very close relationship. Wherever he was, I was with him, and every time he went into the car, I ran into the passenger seat just to be with him. He and I were like two peas in a pod. It was a certain feeling that knowing my dad was right beside me as I was coming into the battalion. And I felt so much motivation, and I was so proud to be here just to honor his legacy that I felt like I could tackle the world. So during Challenge Week, my 9th year, I was introduced to the gospel choir. I didn't know much about the Citadel, so when I heard the gospel choir, I thought that was something I knew from home that I could carry with me here to the Citadel. I knew I would need that inspiration, I need some of that strength that's in gospel music to help me go through my journey here at the Citadel. So I found that inspiration in the gospel choir, and not just in the music itself, but in the people. And the people in the gospel choir, along with the other ministries on campus, have been my rock here on campus. I keep pictures of my dad in my room and in my car, and I think about my dad every day. You don't have to have family here, you don't have to have your dad, you don't have to have your uncle, but when you come to the Citadel, you make good friendships. You establish, what your values are, and look to mentor other people who are coming behind you. That's where your Citadel starts. That becomes your Citadel story. And I thank God for making my Citadel story since I've been here.
Cadet Mazzaro, I'm going to aim one at you, because this video reminds me of an overwhelming sense of tradition when I was a knob here at the Citadel, sitting in our chapel, or sitting in the field house, or in the barracks, or in classes. I always felt the presence of the environment here, the traditions of the place. That the Citadel was much bigger than me, and it was an honor to be a part of that. How do you feel that playing out in your time here now as a first semester knob?
So just about everywhere I go here, I always see a class of different classes, different memorials, different things to recognize the past, the Citadel's history that builds the tradition here. And it plays a big role. You go to church, you see just in church, they take a Christmas picture every year, and it's a big deal for the pastor. So tradition is a big part of the Citadel history. Being a part of it, there's a lot of great traditions here that we'll remember every single day.
Cadet McKee, you just picked up your ring, which is one of the great hallmarks of tradition here at the Citadel. How was it to share that moment with your classmates?
Yes, sir. It was really cool to be able to share it and be on campus with everybody, even though we were masked up and spread out. But to get it, and then to run over, salute the war memorial, and then punch the chapel door, and sprint back to your home battalion, and everybody that you started with, for the most part, it's made it. You all get together, take a photo, and share that moment. And it was just like, after waiting going on 3-4 years, it definitely, the ring weighs a lot in your favor.
You're going to reflect on that, and the cool thing about this ring is every day you're not wearing it, you think about it. It becomes a part of you. The cool thing about tradition also is that as an alumnus, David and I look at the Citadel, and Josh as well. You'll get to meet Josh in our Q&A. Josh Simon, my colleague, class of 2008. Wearing this ring and being around Citadel people, and whether it's watching our football team on television or being around other graduates is just an honor. It's a special thing to share. When you meet a graduate in an airport and you see the ring that's immediately identifiable, it's very unique in its design. There is an impulse to immediately introduce yourself and have that moment of camaraderie with someone you've never met in your life. So again, that's the tradition that Marcus Milhouse was talking about. And aside from honoring his father's legacy, it's honoring the legacy of all Citadel graduates. So that's a really exciting tradition that all of our candidates tonight should be considering, is that as hard as this place is at times to persevere and overcome the challenges of, the rewards are lifelong. If you're committed to this place and the people that fill the Citadel campus, that make it special, you're going to be infinitely rewarded. And that's the great bond that is our Citadel Alumni Network. And again, why David Dell gives his time back to Tennessee candidates in his chair in his chair role with the Citadel Volunteer Organization, the Citadel Alumni Recruiters. This is a special place. And again, it's that calling. You have to be moved to be here. We will close out the event tonight with a lot of information on the admissions front about how to better get to know us via application, via visits, via all kinds of different direct interactions with admissions staff. But one element, again, that is a key part of consideration for many candidates out there. And during my time in admissions, I've seen our commissioning rates range anywhere from nearly 80% to our current status, which is kind of a peacetime status of 35%, roughly a third of our graduating seniors accepting commissions, is understanding that is the ultimate expression of giving, is serving your country. And this college is special in that regard. The next video we're going to witness follows the story of Cadet Renee Valentine, who also had a challenging road getting to the Citadel, but found his community of fellow Citadel folks and has made good on his promise to serve. He's now a freshly minted Marine officer, and he's off to the races. He's an outstanding young man, and I think it'll convey in this video. So without further ado, let's meet Renee.
Life is going to be filled with obstacles, failures, and successes, and you've really got to take it one evolution, one conflict at a time. I'm Renee Valentine, and I'm commissioning into the Marine Corps as a second lieutenant. Some of the obstacles I faced in life really revolve around my relationship with my mom and our military service. We've had to move to a lot of places, unique experiences. It's been incredible. It's also been really hard at times, and she has sacrificed a lot to get me here. I really wanted the idea of my brothers, my family, maybe a father figure. I found my family and way more at the Citadel, way more I could have asked for. Obviously, Nabir was probably a shock. My very first time in Charleston was the day I showed up. There's this constant atmosphere of trying to be better than last year, be better than last week, be better than yesterday. This constant development where there are new expectations, new responsibilities, new heights to achieve, and you're gonna fail sometimes. I've definitely failed sometimes, but it's that constant battle to just be better tomorrow, be stronger tomorrow, be faster tomorrow. It's an obstacle, but it's also potential. There have been so many different kinds of transformation for me specifically. I walked in as this very skinny, not so confident dude from across the Pacific. I'm a senior now at the Citadel, and I feel confident in my capabilities. I know I have potential. I'm looking at the brink of military service. There's forward guidance. I know where I'm headed because of the Citadel. One of the quotes I live by is, "Today will be different." It goes back to yesterday, last week, last year, anything that's happened before. All you can do is build upon it and look forward to today and tomorrow.
I want to express a quick salute to both of our cadet panelists. Both of them are pursuing and are successfully on the path towards commissioning. We have them at both ends of the spectrum. We have young Vincent Mazzara, who's 4 years away from his opportunity to commission in the Marine Corps, not 4, but 3.5, I should say. But arrived at the Citadel with a Marine Corps scholarship. That's a very, very competitive scholarship to pick up. So congratulations on the hard work and exacting demands of that pursuit path. That's very important to note. You're learning a lot. You mentioned this with the MESEP environment there, with the direct environment of ROTC instructors that we have over there that are exceptional, with the naval science as a whole being committed. Both our commandant and our president, General Walters, a 4-star Marine, are products of the Naval Science Department here at the Citadel. That's exceptional. Marshall McKee, our senior cadet, is an exceptional student as well. He's an Air Force ROTC scholarship recipient, and he's a member of the, tell us about the flying club here briefly, so our folks can know that there are auxiliary type clubs that support military roles post-graduation.
Yes, sir. So the flying club was something that really kind of got started more so my freshman year and then my sophomore year with Colonel Will, who was the Air Force detachment commander, that just changed. But it's a club here that you don't have to be going into the military to join. It's for anybody all the way from seniors down to freshmen, and they offer scholarships, and they get you off campus to the local airport here at Johns Island or at Joint Base Charleston. Get you in 172 from someone that's never had any flight experience to someone who's already soloed and maybe on the way to the private. It's a great way to get off campus and get flying. So if you have a passion for aviation.
I bet you didn't know this, but there are images of student aircraft parked on the parade ground, and there is, when the Citadel first moved to this campus, they're actually parked out there. I don't know if you've ever seen this image, but the flying club was resurrected because it once was an active part on the campus. And this speaks to another side, just for our folks to understand out there who are watching tonight, is this is a place that supports innovative cadets. If you have an entrepreneurial spirit and you want to create something, we have an amazingly competitive Citadel Ice Hockey Club. And who would have thunk in Charleston, South Carolina, you would have a competitive hockey club, but we do. And they've traveled internationally to compete. That's all cadet desire. Again, this club went dormant for a while, and it came back as a result of an ROTC senior instructor who decided to invest in the time and effort, and the cadets followed suit and built this back into a living entity. This is the cool thing about the Citadel, is that it's not restrictive to enterprise. You have an opportunity to grow. Clubs are offered funds to build out and grow. It's just the work ethic that is required to build those things and make them successful. So that's a keen part. But again, I wanted to make a special note to salute both Vincent Mazzara and Marshall McKee for their desire and their willingness to pursue this path to serve their countries. Their country. One thing I'm going to shift gears a little bit here and talk about something that we all love, which is Charleston, South Carolina. You have to understand that the work week, which is Sunday evening through Friday afternoon at the Citadel, is a really intense time. Students are taking 18 plus credit hours traditionally, and they have a lot of obligations. So making good on free time is really, really important to our cadets. Charleston, South Carolina has been ranked one of the best cities, and we're tired of the ranking here in Charleston because we can't manage all the growth that we've had. But the reality is it's an amazing city with amazing music, great food, great enterprise, great beaches that are close by. We have a brand new boating center for our outdoor folks who enjoy this. There's a million things to do, and the cadets make great use of their free time in the same way that they manage their time carefully to get through the business week. They do the same thing with the social time. So Charleston is something on the visit front that's really important. If you decide that you want to give careful consideration to the Citadel, visit us. We do have an open visit opportunity to come to the Citadel. You'll be masking up. You'll be wearing these guys, and you'll be social distance. And we enforce this throughout the campus. But the reality is, there's no substitute for seeing this campus and seeing Charleston, smelling Charleston, feeling that sunshine here in this amazing city, this historic city. That is a keen part of the recharging process for our cadets. So that's something I want to mention. The next piece I want to mention is something that ties all these things together, in that there is a fundamental requirement that anyone looking at the Citadel carefully needs to just bring to the table, and that is a commitment, a level of grit to be successful. This is, again, a fundamental requirement to be successful. You don't have to 100% be the valedictorian of your school. You don't have to be the best athlete. You just have to be committed to being a better cadet and serving the people around you here. And again, it's summarized in this video that General Walters says, and it's simply summarized as, it takes grit. Welcome back, everyone. I want to introduce my colleague, Josh Simon. He's class of 2008. We have a few moments of time here, so I want to make a quick reminder for everyone to stick around following the conclusion of tonight's event, and that we'll put that QR code up so you can pick up your Citadel pennant. We designed these exclusively for these webinars, so they're cool. They can fit in your locker if you're in person in school. If not, hang it on your wall with pride. And make sure you get on the plan to visit and apply to the Citadel if you're a current senior. These are important things to keep mindful of. So, Josh, I'm going to hand this over to you, and you can MC the Q&A session here, if you would.
Thank you, Seamus. It looks like we have more questions than we're going to be able to get to tonight. So I do want to just start off by saying, ladies and gentlemen, please consider this entire webinar as just the first stage, this first step, the first conversation, if you will. Please fill out the question form, and when you fill out the form for your pennant, and please continue to communicate with us. Well, we are here to answer all your questions. That said, one of the first questions that we got in tonight was, do you wear uniforms every day? So looking for that cadet experience. So let's say, what do you say, cadets? Mr. McKee, are you in uniform every day? What's the deal there?
Yes, sir. Every day, 24/7. Every day for class, every day when you're not in class. So you're in uniform, even out on the town.
And Mr. Massaro, when you're off campus, how far do you go in uniform?
So I've never been out of range yet, but 10 miles. 10 miles.
10 miles. I believe we used to say 2 bridges was the unofficial rule, but 10 miles is that official distance that you need to be in uniform away from campus. Fantastic. Talking about Charleston, talking about being away from campus, one of the questions here is, what do you do in Charleston? What does your free time look like? Again, Mr. Massaro, when you get off campus, what's general leave look like for you?
So before coming here, I've been to Charleston once when I was just a little kid, and I never remembered it. Most of my weekends are just walking around town. There's so much to do here, so much to look at. I remember before I matriculated, the hotel I stayed at was once the old Citadel, the South Carolina Armory. And going back there one time, we looked around the side, and I didn't know it at the time, and I was like, oh, that's the old Citadel. So there's so much to see here, so much to do. There's never a dull weekend here.
And Mr. Delk, what were your free times like? Do you remember what were those environments? Who were you hanging with? What was the feel then? And we'll compare it to now as we get to Mr. McKee afterwards.
Well, definitely hanging with our classmates. We all had the same. When we got some time to get off campus, definitely want to take advantage of that time. We went to the beach. We went to Folly Beach a bunch. The beach house is a little far for us, not having a vehicle, to get out there. But we would, we'd hitch a ride, borrow a car, take a cab, whatever we needed to do we went straight to Folly Beach. That's where we went.
And I should say that, we're a senior military college. It's a challenging environment here, but the cadets lead a very traditional college type environmental life socially when they leave. They have a good time. They're responsible. Obviously, ride sharing is a big part of that and everything else. But Charleston's a fun city, great music, great food, great entertainment, and the cadets are responsible and have a good time out there. But there is a social aspect of life to Charleston that is a keen part of the cadet life cycle. They earn it. They work hard to get out and enjoy that time. But our seniors are definitely having a good time downtown. That's for sure.
Mr. McKee, your free time with your general leave, what are you into?
Yes, sir. So I'm with Mr. Duck there. We normally get out to Folly Beach. My freshman year, I went out a little bit more to Isle Palms. But coming from Tennessee, making classmates that were from the area and had some more connections, that was something that really helped out. Because leaning on them to, like you say, catch a ride or go hang out at their house on the beach has been really nice. There's lots of good places to eat, and there's College of Charleston downtown. There's Shem Creek. So there's lots of good places to go have some fun.
Excellent. And one last here is that we are running out of time. But what is your connection? We obviously are a group here of alumni and current cadets. But as cadets, what are your relationships with alumni before you got here, as you've been here, and as you look to the future? Mr. McKee, tell us about the alumni network, the relationships between those that wear the ring and will wear the ring.
So starting out, Mr. Duck here, he was one of the first alumni that I got to meet from my hometown. So it was really cool to start that connection right off with the school. And so you meet all these alumni who may be a lot older and have all these other experiences. But then even the people who graduated within recent years, my senior mentor who graduated in 2017, still keeping up with them and seeing how far they've gone in their short time since they graduated can really get you through the long days here at school sometimes.
Excellent. Mr. Massaro, what is your relationship with alumni? How are you building? What are you seeing there, if any? What's your experience been with alumni?
So before expressing to my parents that this is where I would like to go to college, I didn't know any alumni. As soon as I told my dad, he had one friend. Within a week, I was flooded with alumni. Oh, you want to go to the Citadel? You want to go to the Citadel? I'll talk to you all about it. Help you. One of my dad's good friends was a major general in the Marine Corps, and he's good friends with General Walters. So it's cool knowing that's how I found that he came here, and there's definitely the alumni program here is incredible.
I have a Marine story as well. A gentleman by the name of Joel Christie, Class 89. He's a Marine combat veteran. I was thinking about the senior military colleges. I was considering them. I just was looking at military colleges in general. And when he heard word, his mother and my mother were church friends, and they're still dear friends. When he heard word of this, he called me up out of the blue and said, I'd like to come over to your house and sit in your room and talk to you about my college, the Citadel. And he spent an hour with me and conveyed what this place was and what it meant to him as a combat veteran. And I was impressed. No one from any other college had any interest in coming to see me in this personal way. And I think it was an awakening to what this place is, to what this community is. The neat thing about Joel Christie and his mother, particularly, Ann Christie, is that she babysits my girls. There's a wonderful... This is the community of Citadel people, that there is genuinely a community. So whether you know Citadel graduates or not, we can find you. David Delk is in this capacity in Tennessee. I'm available to you. Josh is available to you to try to connect you with alumni who can be meaningful and impactful to your own decisions. And you very well might decide the Citadel is not for you, and that's okay too. The Citadel is really committed to getting the right people in the barracks. We traditionally only lose 15 to 17 or 18% of our freshman class, and that's not by any fluke. We get the right people to come to the Citadel. That's a very low attrition rate. And it's not because this place is easy. To the contrary, it's extraordinarily challenging. But I think that we get the right people who come with the right mentality to be committed to that end goal, and that success again is rewarded. So that's what I would add there, Josh.
And David, as working and mentoring and being in the roles that you have, what is it for you? What are the opportunities of being the alumni on the other side, one who's worn the ring for some time now, and worn some of the lacquer out of it? What is the motivation for you? What do you get from it?
Well, I just enjoy seeing young men and women, having the same, having a chance to experience the same thing I experienced. It's standards. I'm a pretty laid back guy. I wasn't a big rank holder or anything, when I was at the Citadel, but what it taught me, about time management and being able to handle when you think you got too much going on, and basically knowing that get everybody getting broken down at first and being brought up together, by the same standards. There's no favorites. There's no what you did in high school was great, but you can leave that at the gate. It's all about starting over with your buddies and starting over with your classmates and seeing what you can become and what you can become as a group. The same can be said for when you graduate. I graduated from Citadel, I can get a job anywhere you want to. Well, it helps. It's not going to keep your job. It's not going to get you a promotion. It's not going to lead you to the top. It's giving you the recipe. It's just you've got it all in you to do it. So I just what it did for me. I just like seeing other young folks take that chance, take that opportunity, and seeing what it can do for them.
Absolutely. We see we've done a couple of these now, and in one of the previous we had a 70 grad, an 80s grad, a 90s grad, myself in the aughts, and then the current cadets. And so to have all these different generations of grads, you hear the same exact responses, at least along the same vein, and that is just a love for the school and appreciation for those ways that it affected each of us, and that desire to give back and help, just as David said just now, that desire to be able to help young men and women find that for themselves and see where it takes them, because it's really exciting to watch that growth. For sure.
Well, this has been an outstanding program. I know we're starting to run over our time limits here, folks, and I really appreciate it. I know we've got evening study period. This is the set study piece that's available to all of our cadets. They make good on their academic time here, so I don't want to impede on that. But we're going to dedicate this next video to you, Mr. Mazzaro. This is a commitment to stay the course that you've taken. You've done a great job so far. Obviously, you've done a fine job in the Marine detachment there. You worked hard academically and continue to stay the course. We're excited where you are right now. And for all of our candidates tonight, again, thank you for your participation. We appreciate it tonight. We appreciate our panelists' time. This video is going to showcase the 2020 Recognition Day. You're going to be there in a few short months. Let's roll it.
Thank you, sir.